Hey everybody, welcome to Exploration Overland. My name is Zach, and I'm back. I know it has been a little bit since I have posted a video, guys, and I do apologize. There were several factors that have caused me to not be able to do any filming. One of which is this right here. The Jeep was down for about 7 weeks. It was drivable, but it wasn't capable off-road whatsoever at the time. You guys will probably remember my last trip that I did when I was in Moab with Rudy. This happened. And then this morning I got in the Jeep, turned it on, and I was getting these error message of, you know, service ABS, service electronic stability control, all that. And I had a check engine light. Now I have a little engine coder. I put it on there and it was telling me the left front wheel sensor was pretty much dead. All those lights, all those things that came up on my dashboard was the wheel speed sensor, which is this right here. This little tiny thing, this tiny little thing right here is what caused the Jeep to basically not work off-road anymore. And due to that, it kills the wheel speed sensor, kills your ABS, your cruise control, your four-wheel drive system on the Jeep. It kills all of that because of this one little sensor went out. And that one little sensor is what I waited on. Now don't worry guys, I actually have filmed a video on replacing a front wheel speed sensor on a Jeep because, amazingly enough, though there are tons of videos about replacing the wheel speed sensor on a JK, there weren't any videos on the JL. So I have done a video that is going to be coming in the next couple weeks, guys. But I had to wait forever for this little part. I sent the Jeep to the dealership. The dealer had it for a week, never looked at it. I picked it back up because I was furious and ordered the part myself. I then had to wait 5 weeks for the part to come in. That's how long it took for this tiny little part to arrive at my door so I could fix it. And then fixing it, changing it out, took me all of an hour. But that one little part caused the Jeep not to work. And because the Jeep wasn't working, it would not shift into 4 low, 4 high. It would not shift. The transfer case decided to stop after a while. And I kind of stopped driving the Jeep during that time because the more I was driving it, the more the Jeep did not like having that check engine light and all those warnings on the dash. Honestly, guys, the electronics started acting funny. The Jeep did not like doing things. And once I replaced that wheel speed sensor, the Jeep was happy again. I don't know. The little tiny mechanical gremlins that happen due to computers. But there we go. The other thing, I don't know if I've ever said it on the channel or not, but I am a veteran, so I have started to go back to school. I already have a degree, so I'm getting higher education, and I'm using some of my benefits to go back to school and do that. And so that is also what I have been doing during the time that the Jeep's been down, is I started to go back to school. Which has been great. It's all online, which is awesome, and it's not overly challenging at the moment, which is awesome, but that has sucked up some of my time also from filming for you guys. The Jeep was down. I didn't have a lot of products. I didn't have a lot of videos to actually kind of shoot for you guys in the first place, but then you throw waiting on a part and then doing some other schoolwork outside of my normal life. It just all kind of got, you know, bundled up, and certain things just didn't happen, guys, and I do apologize. But going forward, we are back, as I said before, and we will start having videos again every single week. I've gotten a couple filmed already. I'm in the process of editing them, and they will start appearing. But I am super happy to be doing this again, guys. I was really missing this, and it's been bugging the crap out of me to not be on the trail. I have been dying for the past 2 months. I've only want to do is go off-roading and camping, and I haven't been able to do any of that. And then winter has hit here in the lovely state of Colorado, as it has done in other parts of the country, meaning it's cold. Right now, it's actually a little nice. We're almost to 45 degrees. Almost. But we've had some really cold days, and the mountains are slap covered in snow, and it hasn't really melted at all. But we do have a few other things to cover in this update video besides little things like this in the Jeep. First and foremost, we do have some new upgrades that I have done to the Jeep to make life at camp a bit easier. And I have filmed videos on them, guys, but one of which is we did get a new bigger power station and a new charging system for the Jeep. And I am talking about the Blue Yeti's Elite 200 series and their Charger 1. They are installed in the Jeep already. I have done it. I have been testing it, things like that. It has been great. And the reason I did it was, one, it was on sale. Yay, Black Friday. That's why I got it. And two, I wanted the ability to keep my system charged without having to spend hours and hours, without spending hours and hours and hours on the trail just driving to get the power station charged back up at the end of the day. Because the old Anchor, love it to death, the F1200 series that I have, it works really, really well. But the issue is if I ran a bunch of different things off of it, it killed the system quite quickly, and the fridge would run off of it. If it was just the fridge and one side on, because I have a dual zone fridge, it could last up to 2 days if it was just the fridge. I couldn't run anything else off of it. And then to recharge it, guys, I was just running it off of a 12-volt system, as you guys have seen, and it would take hours. And I mean like 10 hours of driving for it to get to 99% from being lower. It is a busy day on my street. My goodness, everybody's moving and grooving. So sorry for the road noise, guys. Everyone's having stuff delivered. I guess Black Friday was a big hit, because this is like the 5th box truck I have seen driving into the neighborhood. Crazy. But so we did get a bigger power station. So now we have enough power to run the fridge for several days and anything else I want to. And with having the Charger 1, which, like I said, I have done a video on this, guys. We will get deep into the weeds with that later. But with the Charger 1 system, it takes about 3.5, 4 hours, and the system is charged back to 100%. That makes it so much easier to just pull up at camp early, hang out, not worry about, oh, is my fridge gonna kill the power station? And yes, I could have done a whole dual battery system thing, guys, and I thought about it, and it was a toss-up between doing something like that or a different power station. And the Blue Yeti popped up with their Charger 1, and I said, it's cheaper and I'm going to give it a shot, because not everybody has just over $5,000 to put a red arc system in their vehicle, or $3,000 to put another system in their vehicle from other companies. They just get really expensive to have those dual battery systems. They work great, but they are very, very expensive. And so I wanted to go with the budget-friendly option first to see how it's going to do over the course of this next season. And then I'll let you guys know. But I'm really excited to put it more to the test, guys, because it has been working excellent so far in the little bit of testing that I have done. Next up, one of the other things that we do have that I have not made a video yet because it has not arrived, but I have bought, is a Starlink system. And I know I can hear everybody in the background going, why do you want internet while you're on the trail? 2 reasons. First reason, I'm doing schoolwork and I don't want to be trapped at my house anymore. It's all online. I can go wherever I please, and having that will allow me to do what I need to do and get back on the trail and have fun and enjoy my life, and not just sit inside my house doing some work and then waiting for the sun to set so I can go to sleep at night. It's really boring, trust me. I've been doing it for 2 months. This is going to help. Second off, the Jeep, though it doesn't have a, it's over 50,000 miles now, which isn't a lot. Trust me, it's not a lot. I've had vehicles that are 300,000+ miles before. It hasn't been a lot. However, over the course of this past year, we've had little different issues that have arisen on the Jeep, and it becomes a pain in the rear when you have to try and limp it off the trail for hours. So you get phone service to look up what it is, and it could have, and it's an easy fix, and all of a sudden it works again. But now I'll have the ability to check things when they go wrong from camp and fix it there, so I'm not trying to limp this thing off the trail for hours on end. That's really annoying to do, and I've noticed that little tiny things, they're just little things like the wheel speed sensor. It's a little thing that happens that seems to kill a lot of different other things on the Jeep, and then she still runs, which is perfect, but it takes forever to get it off the trail because it's not running like it should. So that's the second reason. So that is coming. I'm going to put it to the test. It's going to help with things to do, and so we can stay on the trail longer, guys. It's going to be very helpful. Also for Lindsay, because while I'm gone, Lindsay doesn't typically come with me on my adventures, and she would like to talk to me, FaceTime me, things like that for a little bit every so often when I'm at camp, and that's also going to help. You know the saying, happy significant other, happy life. I'd like to continue to go out on the trail, take you guys with me, have a fun time, and stay out for even longer, but I got to make my other half happy too. So that is the third reason why we're getting this also. And then a couple other things that I have not ordered yet but are coming in January is we are going to be using a rooftop tent this next season. I really want to try out using a rooftop tent. Now I know my ground tent works perfectly well and I love it, and I'm still going to use it, and we're still going to be using the T8 hub tent because every time I go out with my dad, that is the tent we are using. But for my solo adventures, if I'm out on the trail with Rudy or with somebody else, having a rooftop tent is going to be a little bit quicker at camp. I'm going to have less stuff inside because I can stick it inside the tent and it'll already be in there. I don't have to futz with it too much. It's just going to make it just a little bit easier, and I really want to test it out. Honestly, guys, because a lot of people don't like ground tents. A lot of people don't like rooftop tents. I like both of them, and it's been about 2.5, almost 3 years now of the Gazelle T4 hub tent. It works wonderful, but I would like to not have to climb up on top of my Jeep on and off all the time when I get to places to fold it up, collapse it, everything. Just want to make my life a little bit easier, and I want to give it a shot. So that's what we're going to do, and it's my life, so I'm going to do it anyways. And then finally, something else that is coming, and this is a big upgrade for the Jeep. We are going to be getting the Long Range America fuel tank. The auxiliary 17-gallon fuel tank that goes up under the driver's side of the Jeep. That is coming in January. And I'm very excited about this upgrade. It is going to be awesome once it is installed and done. Having an extra 17 gallons on the Jeep to use is going to be incredible. Don't get me wrong, I have my jerry cans, 10 gallons. It works great. And when I'm on the trail, guys, I'm very rarely like pinching for fuel. I'm not dying. When I'm driving to location, when I'm getting from here to where we want to be, that is where that 17 gallons of extra fuel is going to play a huge role. Because over the course of 2024, this puppy has been getting anywhere between 13 to 8 miles to the gallon on the road. Which I don't care. You know, I drive miles per gallon. I don't really care about how well it's doing. However, when it is doing that, I am filling this thing up about every 100, 120 miles. And if it's a strong headwind, forget it. I'm getting less than 100 miles per tank of fuel. So to be able to go, look, I can go almost another 100 miles before I need to fill up is great. So that is going to be a huge thing. And it's also going to mean I won't have to have the jerry cans necessarily with me. And if I take one, I'm never going to be truly worried about fuel. But that long range tank is going to be incredible for going to the destination that I want to get to. Our brief intermission as the box truck drives by. But that is the other thing. So those two things, the rooftop tent and the auxiliary fuel tank, are coming in January. They are going to be here. We're going to start using the tent come February. I'm going to start getting back out, you know, going further out and venturing, because January's heart of winter. Places I want to go to aren't going to necessarily happen right out the gate, but we are going to give it a shot. All right. And then the plans for 2025 we're about to go over, and what's coming up. So first off, it is December. Lindsay and I are going down to Arizona for Christmas. We're going to hang out with some of my family that still live in Arizona, and I'm going to be doing some wheeling down there. I don't know if I'll be camping necessarily, but we are going to go hit a bunch of different trails that I have never done before in Arizona, and it's going to be an absolute blast. And Rudy may be joining us for a few of it because he does have family in Arizona and he is supposed to be there. And at the moment, that plan hasn't changed, so Rudy may be joining me for my adventures, and I may be meeting up with a couple other people. I have been talking with some other people that I have been talking with for a couple of years now. It's just never aligned to where we can meet up. And I do believe in December. Some of them live in Arizona, and I think we're going to be able to meet up for, maybe a day, maybe two, go hit some fun trails, have a good time. Now, these trails that we're going to be doing, they range in difficulty. From some of them are a bit more difficult, others are kind of scenic, enjoyable, and that's kind of what I'm looking for, guys. It's just going to be a fun time getting out there, filming, bringing you guys on my adventures, and just seeing different parts of Arizona that I haven't gotten to yet. I lived there for a very long time. I've done a lot of exploring, but some of these areas I've never truly explored. So that's going to be fun, and that's coming up here in just a couple weeks, which is going to be awesome. Now, 2025, unlike this year where I had a bunch of different routes planned and we did about half of them and then the other half didn't get done because of either issues with the Jeep, life, I started planning for the trip and weather changed that, or closures of trails, things like that. Didn't happen. This year I'm doing it a bit differently. Instead of creating a bunch of routes, I've chosen a series of 6 states, and we're going to go to those states and we're going to have a bunch of fun and exploring. Those states include, let me look at my notes, first off, New Mexico. That is where my dad lives. He wants to do a bunch of other exploring down there, so we have a bunch of different trips planned for New Mexico, ranging all over the state of New Mexico. We're going to get deep into the woods, out into the deserts, up into the high country. It's going to be fun. Next up is Nevada. I touched briefly in Nevada towards the beginning of the year when I was doing that trip through northern Arizona, and it ended in Nevada. I want to do more exploring through Nevada. So I have started to find points of interest that I would like to see and trying to find different routes that are, trails that will connect and get us through the state of Nevada without being on a backcountry discovery route. We'll touch upon parts of it, but Nevada is going to be one of those. Another state, we're going to go into California a little bit more. I want to do the Mojave Desert. I have some revenge to get with the Mojave Desert from about 2 years ago. I want to get down into Anza Borrego again, and I want to go into Northern California. It's beautiful up there, and I love Northern California, so I want to do some exploring up in that region as well. We will be doing Oregon. That is a trip that my dad will be joining me for. We've already started planning that one, but we are going to be going through Oregon this next year. I'm going to go into Washington and British Columbia. I want to go into BC, up in Canada. It's going to be really, really fun. I don't know a whole lot about the trails that are up there and what is available. I know they have a ton of trails, just finding ones. I'm not quite sure. So if you guys have any suggestions for trails in any of those places, just drop it in the comments below, guys. I'm really excited to, one, hear what you have to say for trails and things like that. And two, it's going to help me immensely in the decision-making process for these trips. And that is the whole thing, is I want to, have a ton of fun on these trips, because a lot of these trips are going to go from being like 3 to 4 days, sometimes 5, to 2 weeks now. The joys of communicating with my significant other. You get the ability to go out longer. But most of my trips are going to become 2 weeks now, guys. So I'm very excited to be able to get out there and have an absolute fun time. So if you have anything, any kind of trail recommendations, drop them in the comments, guys. I'd love to hear it. But that is it, guys. That is what has been happening over the course of the later half of October going through November. this. I've been planning for trips, doing some schoolwork, waiting to get this fixed, got her fixed, she's working, installed some parts onto her, like the Blue Yeti system, been testing out things, and now we're back to this, which is going to be great. But thank you all for joining me today in this little update video. I tried to make it short, sweet, and to the point, but I am excited to be back. As you guys couldn't tell, I'm very excited. So thank you all for joining me. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, guys. It helps me out immensely, and you guys are what makes this channel happen. Otherwise, thank you all once again for joining me on this video, and thank you all for hanging in there with me during that time where I was kind of absent and I really didn't have anything for updates, and I really wasn't keeping Instagram updated or anything. I kind of went ghost. Trust me, I wasn't trying to block you guys out, just didn't have a whole lot to say at the time. So thank you all once again, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.